So this concept of the Pythagorean theorem is actually pretty important, and you are going to learn it in 8th grade. Obviously, you have probably not finished 8th grade yet if you are watching this video. And this program, Mathia, is going to assume that you already know how to do the Pythagorean theorem. So it is not going to teach you anything. It's just going to throw you right into some problems with the Pythagorean theorem, assuming that you already learned it and remember it. For you to be able to learn the Pythagorean theorem and understand it before you get into this workspace, I need you to make sure that you watch the 3 red videos that are before this workspace on the course plan. If you don't watch those videos, you're going to have no idea what's going on, and you're going to be totally lost in this workspace. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started, assuming that you have already watched the 3 videos above this one on the course plan. And so we have this kind of weird labeled thing. Instead of A, B, and C, they used K, D, and F, which is annoying. And what we've got then is they have D squared is equal to something, or sorry, plus something is equal to something. And so this, we need to remember the Pythagorean theorem is A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. And so the A squared has to be D, so this is my A side down here. This is going to be my B side then, this is going to be my C side. And so B is K squared. All that we're doing is substituting one variable in for another. It's kind of annoying that they didn't use A, B, and C in the first place. And my pen is doing strange things. Alright. So we can go ahead and put that in. That is the equivalent of A squared plus B squared equals C squared for this problem. When you put that in, you can do this a couple ways. You can put K squared like I did. I used a keyboard shortcut. I pressed Shift and the number 6 to get up into the exponent position. The other way for you to get up into the exponent position is to use this button on the keyboard. And that will actually put it up in the exponent. You've got to press left to get out of the exponent. That's going to be f to the power of 2. From here on, I am just going to use the keyboard shortcut Shift 6 to get up into that exponent position. So the unknown side represents, so this is the hypotenuse. We don't know how long it is. We know this is 12. We know this is 4. This is the distance from the airport to the airplane. I don't know why it's not taking my click. There we go. Okay, so now we need to write an equation that would help us find the distance between the airport and the airplane. And so we're going to put values in there. So we would have D is 12, so 12 squared, plus K is 4, so 4 squared. And we still don't know what F is, so that would still be F squared. So again, on my keyboard, I'm going to put in 12, Shift 6 to get into the exponent position. I got to click right to get out of it. Plus 4, again up in the exponent position. I got to click right to get out of it. Equals F to the power of 2. And then F is how many miles? I don't know. I'm going to grab a calculator really quick. I'll be right back. Actually, I'm going to take advice that I give people, and I'm not going to use a calculator. I am going to have Mathia figure it out for me. This white box right here actually is a calculator. And so I'm going to say, I'm going to figure out that 12 squared is 144, 4 squared is 16, that makes 160. So I'm going to take the square root of 160 right here in Mathia, because if I do it on a calculator, I am not going to have a good time, because look, it went to 4 decimal places. I would have only put in 2, and it would have counted me wrong. Moving on to the next one. This is going to be the same process, almost exactly the same type of problem. So we have this situation where we've got H, J, and M. And so we are looking at J squared plus something is equal to, it's going to be M squared, because the M has to be the hypotenuse. And so the H must be our other piece. So So again, matching this up to a squared plus b squared equals c squared. That's really what's going on there. The j is the same as a, the h is the same as b, and the m is the same as c. So b to the power of 2. Oh, I'm sorry, that should be an h. Then m, I'm so used to using a, b, and c, using these other numbers is weird. So the one we don't know is this one, and that is the height. So it's the height of the rock wall or whatever it happens to be. The distance from your feet to the top of the cliff. The height of the cliff. There we go. And so the equation for this would be just this right here. So j to the power, well, I guess we already did that one. How did they want the equation on the other one? We're probably going to have to put numbers in, I think is what's going on. So we will replace j with 23. We will not replace h because we don't know what the heck it is. And m is going to be 26 to the power of 2. And so we have to do a little bit of solving here because we don't know what we're going to end up with. So I'm going to pull out my calculator, do some math. That's going to be 529 plus h squared is equal to 676. So we need to get h by itself, so we need to subtract 529 from both sides. And we will get h squared is equal to 147. Again, I am going to let Matthew do the computation for me once I get down to this piece. But the equation that we started with was 23 to the power of 2. Press to the right to get down from there. Plus h to the power of 2 is equal to 676. The height then is going to be the square root of 147. So to solve this, we take the square root of both sides, just like we did in the lessons that I showed you before this. And so we are going to get whatever the square root of 147 is. And that's going to be 12 point. And the way I do it, I only use 2 decimal places. Matthew is always going to go to 4. That's just the way it is. So next we've got this thing. We have j again, d, and t this time. So let's sketch this triangle really quick. J, d, and t. It looks like they have this set up as j squared plus something is equal to something. And so my t squared has to be over here because that's the hypotenuse. And my d squared has to be right there. So we're going to call that a, we're going to call that b, we're going to call that c. So a is j, b is d, t is c. I know it's kind of weird that we have 2 different names for each thing, but I really like calling these parts of the triangle a, b, and c. It's the proper way to name them. And so I'm going to continue doing that just so I tie it back to the Pythagorean theorem lesson that I already taught you. And so what we've got then is d to the power of 2 here. And t to the power of 2. The unknown side represents, let's see, this is the height of the door that we don't know. Our equation then, if we're going to put the numbers in and all that stuff, we're going to have j is 36. D we do not know. And t is 96. So let's put that in. Okay. And we have to solve this one again just like we did the last one. So, quick math here. 1,296 plus d squared is equal to 9,216. That gives us, so I'm going to subtract both sides. D squared is equal to 7,920. So to solve this, we need to take the square root of both sides. So the answer is going to be the square root of 7,920. Let's put that right here in Mathia. And 88.9944. Okay. I don't know why Mathia likes using such big numbers. Okay, looking at this next one, we are missing the hypotenuse, so we are going to be missing the c side. Let's sketch this triangle up real quick. We have Q, which is our c side, M and K. So the formula they're starting us with is k squared plus something is equal to something. The q has to be the c because it's the hypotenuse. That leaves the m to be the b. So a squared, b squared, c squared. That's going to be my a side, that's going to be my b side, that's up there is my c side. So we can throw that in there. And q squared. The unknown side is this right here, so the distance from the top of the flagpole to the person. The distance from your feet to the base, no, the distance from your feet to the top of the pole. There we go. Our equation then, we've got to put these numbers in there. So we're going to have 17 squared plus m is 9 is equal to q squared. So no solving this time because we just need to do the math and then take the square root. So 17 squared is how much? $289. 9 times 9 is 81. So 370 is q squared. Oops, we're going to take the square root of both sides. So square root of 370 is going to be our answer. Something's wrong. Let me pause and figure out what I did wrong. Oh, it's looking for an equation, not a answer. Getting ahead of myself. So our equation was 17 squared plus 9 squared equals q squared. So now square root of 370. Alright. Last one, thank goodness. So we've got this triangle over here. So we've got F, we've got M, we've got H. And so F squared plus something is equal to something. The hypotenuse must be H. And so that's going to be our A side, that's going to be our B side, that's going to be our C side. M squared. Alright. So we can put in M squared, H squared, The unknown side is the side of the TV, the height of the television. So know our equation, we're going to throw those numbers in there. 36 is F, and H is 45. And so 36 squared is 1296 plus M squared is equal to 45 squared, 2025. We do need to solve for M squared by subtracting 1296. So M squared is equal to 729. So square root of both sides. Put in the square root of 700, and then for the last piece we'll put in that. So we've got 36 squared plus M squared equals 45 squared. And M is going to be the square root of 729. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have an awesome day.